Thanks, Isaac. I am going to refer to notes because I don't want to not do this tip justice. So the tip I'm sharing tonight covers across multiple different aspects of business. So it's not specifically targeted at one space. And the reason for that is that it's also, I think, one of those things that we sort of look at and we go, okay, this is a nice to do thing, but it's actually a need to do thing. Over my time of working with a lot of different businesses, this seems to fall between the cracks, this one. So my tip is focus on your process. So a lot of people nodding and a lot of people glazing over going, oh my God, we're talking about process again. I agree. It's one of those things where it's sort of like, Dan, we do 60-hour weeks, we've got a lot of problems to deal with, so we haven't got time to document process. Ironically, that could be the reason why you're doing 60-hour weeks and the reason why you've got so many problems. And I'm going to explain a little bit about it. So with a single source of truth for your people, the very simple aspect is that you give everyone one single piece, one view. There's no challenges between your existing staff, as in tenure battles. I know more than you, such, and things like that. I know that doesn't happen. But when you have one single source of truth, what actually happens is that you eliminate that disruption. So there's productivity gains immediately. With your new staff, your onboarding staff, then you can typically shave about 50% off your onboarding. And I know with some small businesses like, look, I've only one or two of us, it doesn't really make sense. But if you do it now and then evolve it and adjust it and build on it, it's much easier than to do when you're all Elon Musk and things like that, right? So the idea is with the people is to give them something that they can refer to, focus on. Managing underperformance, it's an unfortunate thing, but it does have to happen. And managing underperformance can get tricky. We just had Aaron up here. We don't want to be calling Aaron at the last moment. So the idea is to actually do it really methodically. Have your process set out, documented, refer to people like Aaron as well early on and make sure it's clear and you're protected. And then that way, then when you do have to actually fulfill and run through underperformance and focus on that, you can do it safely, less stress, and work through that. Involving team members is critical. So as Isaac mentioned, I came from corporate. Now, corporate's typically, okay, we'll actually work on the process, and then we're going to tell you about it later. Works really badly. So what actually happens is you need to involve the people who will be doing the process. So if you involve the people who are doing the process, you're going to get teamwork gains, you're going to get engagement, empowerment, all of those types of things. It doesn't need to fall on one particular person. Like one person, same as an orchestra, a conductor is up the front, but you need everyone else to play the part and actually play the instrument. And that's what you need to do with your team. The other parts are resource management. So when you visualize a process and you actually have a process flow, you can quantify how long it takes within that process. You can then forecast based on that, and you can then gain profitability out of refining your resourcing, and it helps with your growth as well. So a lot of great wins there. Quality, very easy to find problems. If you don't have any process, you've got to start asking people all the time, how did you do things? What did you do? Is that the right way? I'm not too sure, all of that type of thing. But if you actually have a standard process everyone's following, then it's really simple just to iron in straight on what actually happened. Also the managing change. So managing change is a very challenging aspect of business, and the next 6 to 12 months is going to be a big part of managing change for everyone. Our old mate over there in the US is making a few little changes himself, and we're getting a lot of ripples coming back our way. So the next 6 to 12 months, if you're not adept in sort of managing change, it's something you really need to focus on because you're going to need to optimise. And so with documented process, you can easily optimise. It's there, it's ready to go. I want to do a bit more of this. Okay, I'll change this and I'll adjust this, all of that type of thing. So very critical. Sales, I don't have to explain that. If you have the best practice techniques being used by everyone in the business, then you're going to get a far better sales conversion. It's quite simple. We like to compete in sales and we like to say, oh, we'll put the best person over here, but we should be sharing. And so that's where best practice techniques work and you'll get better profitability. The service sections of business, they often have got a lot of decisions to be made. And without documented process or guidance, and also relevant, probably authority to make decisions, that can be all built into your process. You don't need to helicopter manage anymore. It's there. They can refer to it. It can be done. And also branding. So with regards to the brand, the way I look at it is all your internal processes and your adherence of those internal processes are going to reflect strongly on the external image of your brand. And then as a result, what will happen is the people who are doing business with you will continue to do business with you, repeat customers, less marketing costs to actually gain more customers. And that's where it's an actual profitability gain there. To wrap up just really quickly, there is some ground rules. It's all good. I don't want you all just to go off and run process. If it's not documented, it doesn't exist. That's ground rule number one. The amount of businesses I speak to that sort of say, yeah, we've got the process, it's documented. I go, where is it? It's in Julie's head. Okay, great. Well, if Julie leaves, what happens then? So it's a little bit about that. Keep it lean. Don't over, bureaucratic, red tape, all of that sort of stuff. You're in control of your own destiny. Keep it lean. Use lots of different visual methods. So use step-by-step guides, use process flows, digital media. Great. We're dealing with our team members are exposed to this in society, so why not use that for our processes? Also makes process a little bit cool. Process has never been known as cool. I wouldn't have invited it to a party 20 years ago, but if you can make it like that. Mix it up. Do whatever you need to do to make sure your team understands the process, but not just understands it, they get behind it. So involving them right from the start is really important. Make it accessible. We were just having a chat about this. So make it easily accessible. You can't put it in a folder and tuck it underneath and expect that everyone will continue to follow it. It needs to be, these days, if you can do automation, great. AI is popping out everywhere. So if that can happen, that works really well. If your staff can refer to it quickly and easily, it's more chance that they'll follow it. So it's great. And yeah, I just want to reinforce, everyone needs to be involved. So early buy-in just helps the change process for anything. And I think, typically in corporate, a lot of aspects is that, we'll involve people towards the end and the change effectiveness goes out the door. So yeah, my strong recommendation is involve everyone right from the start, especially those people that are actually following through on the process.
Yeah, love that. Okay.
Cool. Thanks.
Stay here.